to our Wednesday home buying seminar. I'm Bill Gross, along with both my compatriots and colleagues.
Patricia.Castillo.
And also our good friend and mortgage lender.
Gustavo Segura, how you guys doing?
He's not paying attention. Gustavo is very busy lowering interest rates. If you watch the show, 2 weeks ago, Patricia and I both blamed Gustavo for the rates going over 8%. It was his fault. We blamed him. We called him out on it. He admitted it. He fell on his hands and knees and begged forgiveness. And we said, get to work and lower the rates. And lo and behold,
he took responsibility.
It's his responsibility personally. Yeah. And we went from 8.03% to today's 7.41. Nice work, Gustavo, getting us back into the below the mid sevens. Good job, man.
There you go. No problem. Thank you, guys.
Keep going, though. You got momentum.
Keep going.
That's a lot of hard
work. All kidding aside, so it really, Gustavo does not really control the rates. We know that. But Gustavo, what's going on, man? What a roller coaster ride after all year long, 6s and 7s, and here we are, and then the 8s, and then we're back in the 7s. What's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, job reports came out last week. Unemployment went up to 3.9%. So I think the market definitely likes hearing that. Again, the bond market, mortgages, they react well to bad news in the economy, right? That's where investors can put their money on, secure it. So long-term debt, that's where mortgages sit as far as an investment tool. So a lot of people moved over to that after hearing about the unemployment hitting 3.9%. We started to see that rate coming down on Monday. And it's continued over the last couple of days, which is great. Oil prices has been coming down. And again, that's one of those inflation metrics as well. Energy costs, it's been going through the roof, right? $6 gas tank, all that. And now it's showing that it's maybe coming down. So it could be showing a good sign of, like you said, let's keep the ball rolling, right? Hopefully, as we get more and more data here in November and December, we start inching closer to 7% rates on a conventional. And then, of course, for FHA would be closer to 6%.
So one of the things I think we have to all be careful of, on one hand, it's great that rates are coming down, but part of why rates are coming down, and just to put a little color on what you just said, is because the economy is not as strong as it would be, meaning less people able to buy houses competing for those dollars, so the rates come down. So for some people, that's bad news if you're one of the people whose business is hurting or going to get laid off. And then if you're one of the luckier ones that's doing well, you can benefit from the low rates. Is that kind of a fair picture?
Right. Yeah, correct. And actually, one of the shipping companies is it Marks. We see it all over. They have on their containers, they have their name. They announced that they're going to be laying off about 10,000 people. And this company worldwide handles about 18 to 20% of all shipping. So they came out and they announced they're going to be laying off about 10,000 people. So as you said, economies are slowing down. Some people, this is going to be a bad time for them to buy a house, of course. Others may be more careful about it because they don't know what's going to happen to their job. But this is where the market tends to slowly come on down as far as interest rates, because they want to stimulate it as it slows down. So, the Fed's trying to do a very careful balance of how much is too much, right? They don't want to make sure that they bring down the economy, but they slow it down. And then once it starts slowing down, they keep an eye on it so that it doesn't keep on falling, right? And then they do that by lowering the rates so people can go out there and get more loans, car loans, home loans, and keep going.
We have to really watch the news when people cheer, the Fed's lowering rates. It's because 10,000 people are being laid off.
Yeah.
And then if you're, let's say the neighborhood grocery store, that guy who got laid off isn't shopping at your store or gal or family. And if you're the whatever business that sells anything to these people, you're getting a little less business. And the Fed's all great. People are suffering. We can lower rates. And I think that we have to realize that there's two sides to this equation. On one hand, we want lower rates. On the other hand, we want a robust economy. And we're in a difficult position where people are losing jobs and businesses are challenging a bit. In home sales, home sales are down 20 to 30%. And so, values are staying the same, but the number of homes being sold is dropping. So that's a real challenge. For those watching on YouTube, Facebook, usually on LinkedIn, though I don't think so today, Feel free to jump in comments. If you're glad to see Patricia's back, feel free to put that in there. If you didn't miss her because I did such a good job last week without her, feel free to put a comment into that effect as well. Or any other questions or comments, we'd love to have you participate.
That's
So
right.
rates started going down. It's November. And how is this affecting your business, Patricia? Do you see buyers paying attention carefully and not really that important to them? What do you see going on?
Well, I'm seeing a little bit of analysis paralysis where buyers are really trying to time the market. And, considering that we've gone over the rates on this program where they were at earlier in the year, we got up to, 8.03% as of October 19th. And then we were kind of flirting with that 8% range. Now rates have started to come down, as we already mentioned. So when that happens, buyers are really staying on top of the rates as well and paying attention to that. So they're thinking, well, the rates just came down, I'm going to wait because they might come down a little bit more. And so I've been advising my clients, if you can afford the payment now, go ahead and pull the trigger now, because even if the rates come down just a little bit, that rate can still be floated down. But if you're waiting for, rates to come down into like the 6% range, because some of these buyers have that hopeful, mentality that they're waiting for the 6% to come back. But we probably won't see that until maybe, sometime late next year. And so by then, there's going to be a ton of more competition, more buyers that are also waiting. And so what ends up happening is all of that demand ends up driving up the price. And so it's better to get into a property that you can afford, the payment on monthly today. And next year, when the rates come down into the 6% range, let's say, then all you have to do is simply refinance. And that's something, Gustavo can help you with as well. So it's not nearly the same amount of paperwork as when you're purchasing. It's more of a streamlined refinance to get the rate down. And so that's kind of where I'm seeing some buyers are, well, I could buy, but maybe I should wait because the rates might come down a little bit more. And so that's my advice to buyers that are holding off and getting stuck in this analysis paralysis. Should I do it now? Should I wait? Right now, also, I wanted to mention that there are some grants that are allowing for up to $20,000 in down payment assistance to purchase a home. Like in, for example, in City of Long Beach, there's a $20,000 grant. And there's a, certain parameter there. And all you have to do is be a first-time home buyer, or even if you live with somebody that owned a home, let's say you were married and got divorced, but the loan wasn't under your name, you can still qualify for this program. And the median income is pretty generous of what they offer. So this is something that is a really great program for anybody that's interested. It's I don't know if we could screen share on my side, but
Sure.
I just wanted to show the map. Like here, I probably should have sent it to you, Bill. Should I just click on present?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see.
Look at you getting all technical.
So this
Man. One day you're like nothing, and next thing you know, you're listing property and sharing stuff on the screen. Look at you.
So here's the map. And as you can see, here's Downey. But look at the shaded area. Okay, so all this is the Artesia. And then, we come down here. So all this shaded area all of these areas are surrounding Signal Hill, which is a more affluent side of Long Beach. These areas here participate in that program. And so as you can see, it's, there's a lot of opportunity here to buy in this area of Long Beach and get the 20% down payment assistance. So it's a really great opportunity for somebody that's looking for that down payment assistance, and it's $20,000.
You could probably create a MLS search for those blocks and, catch those properties and sign up and share those with customers. I think that'd be an interesting tool to make it a little more effective.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Thanks for the details. Anybody interested in that, contact Patricia and she'll show you, because she's the mistress of Downey.
In the last 60 days, we've had 60% of.
Oops, I have some connection issues, I think.
Yeah.
I think you had Gustavo, and now she has.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure what she said is really important.
Yeah. It's the single most important thing as a homeowner.
The whole show comes down to this one point, and we're not going to hear it. I don't know if she hears us talking over her. Okay, well, let's assume she's working on her connection. Gustavo, how do you see applications for people getting pre-qualified? Same, more or less?
So getting they're coming back, right? Hey, I heard the news, it's coming down, right?
Yeah.
And as Patricia mentioned, it's going to be an interesting situation because they want to act now, and then if the rate continues to go down, they're going to come back, right? So it's going to be important of when you get into a contract, because that's when you're going to lock your rate, and then that's where it's going to be a little bit harder to get a rate to come down. Some lenders will float the rate down and they will allow you to. The majority of them will keep that, because what their whole their side of the story is, when the rate goes up and you're locked in, they don't come back to you and tell you, hey, let's move your rate up, right? So when you lock it in and the rate comes down a little bit, it's a win for them, but we don't know where it's going, right? They're taking a risk just like everybody else. So when that happens, we just have to be careful about which lenders will do that and which lenders will now allow you to float it down. But I got a feeling that there's going to be a lot more people asking about that. If we continue to see these small drops, an eighth of a point here and there, we'll probably see that more and more.
There's Patricia back. That was, it was a cliffhanger there, Patricia. You gave us the most important point, and Gustavo and I were here just waiting on the edge of our seats there. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Last 60 days, something happened.
I was disconnected for some reason. I was just saying that I was commenting that in Downey, in my area, there were 60% of the listings sold in the last 2 months were sold over asking. So I know we started off the call talking about, the market softened a little bit. There's fewer homes for sale, which causes fewer sales.
Yep.
But the prices are actually still very resilient right now, very competitive.
Yeah.
So I've seen prices homes sell 25,000 over up to 100,000 over in this area. So it's definitely, a competitive time, even though the rates are what the rates are.
Last week on this call, I had a client I wrote an offer on in San Clemente, which is a very hot market.
Oh, yeah.
In the 1.3 price range for a single family home, very hot subset of San Clemente, listed at 1.325.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great deal. And I recommended my client offer 2% over the list price. So 2% is like another $26,000. So we offer like 1.375 on a 1.325 list.
I think that would be a good price.
It's an escrow at 1.5.
Wow, 1.5.
Yeah.
Yep, that 2% didn't do it.
And we offer 2% over listing, all cash. I have a very wealthy client who gave us bank statements. It was all cash. And it just, 1.5, at least 1.5. Now, it hasn't closed yet, so I'm waiting to see how that one falls out. And I went back to the listing agent and said, well, my buyer's still interested. I know you haven't cleared contingencies yet. Where are you at? And he said, well, where's your offer at? I told him, he said, we have several, up to 1.5.
Right.
Yeah.
Whew. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is the number of home sales has dropped. Most markets 20 to 30%, but the prices have not. And I think buyers think, oh, it's a slow market. I can offer off the list price. You can offer what you want, but you're not going to get it. And
Right.
I can see that in my listings too, that, we get a lot of low ball offers because there are buyers who believe the market's falling apart. And it might, a month or two from now, I don't know, might not, it might, but today it's not. And today the prices are holding pretty firm. So, okay, well, let's wrap up. Last, any open houses, any news, any activity, Patricia, you want to pitch before we wrap up?
Yes, I am hosting an open house this weekend in Norwalk.
Nice.
Pretty decent neighborhood. I like that neighborhood as well. Let me get the address because I don't have it off the top of my head.
You got so much going on.
It's under 700,000, and and the property is let's see, 12106 Mondon Street, Mondon. So it's listed at 698,000.
If you want details or set up a showing or come to the open house and meet Patricia, call her at 323-365-9909 right there on the screen, right?
Yes.
Gustavo, any special promotions, programs, ideas, anything we want to pay attention to?
No, definitely still keep paying attention to your rate. With right now, lenders will still, be charging points that they're trying to come up. It's been a very hard market over the last 2 years. So there's going to be some fees, some points on there added. Some of that is unnecessary. So we just talked about how the average on the conventional is somewhere around 7.5. If you're not getting that, or if you're getting that, but you're paying, points, 1-2 points, take a look around. Right now, what I'm seeing is like below 7.5 for conventional, 6.5 for FHAs. So definitely keep an eye out, ask questions, and keep an eye on the market.
Fantastic. And you can get Gustavo at 714-334-4563. I'm Bill Gross. I'm at Bill Gross Probate and social media. And on behalf of Gustavo and Patricia, we do this every Wednesday at 4 p.m., sometimes 5 p.m. We kind of very busy how busy we are, but we're always here for you. So if we can reach out and help, we live stream this on Facebook and YouTube. If you have questions or comments, put them in the box. We'll catch up with you guys. And until next week, have your best week ever. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.